Hello my beautiful friends. So in today's session, I have channeled the Galactic Federation in order to get their perspective on certain things such as, astral traveling, and also about, how we can get ready for what is coming up on December 21st. As per the previous sessions that I had done, they had said that, we are going to receive some light codes. So in today's session, they also share how we can become ready, okay? So if we desire to receive those light codes, how we can be ready is discussed in the session. Also, I found it really fascinating is that they talk about astral traveling, with their knowledge, okay? Like, now, there are many people who have made, videos about astral traveling, who have written books about astral traveling. And, the knowledge that they share here today is, I believe it's a bit different because I've never heard about this type of explanation given before. And, they also, like explain the process of how we can astral travel. So they explain, what is the best way to do it. And also they give us a warning, when we are astral traveling. You will hear about it in the session. So furthermore, at the later part of the video, I had queried about the past incarnations of our planet Earth. Now this one is like so mind-blowing, okay? I'm telling you, okay, this is like beyond my expectation of receiving an answer. This stuff is like really like wow, right? This is different, okay? You will get it, okay? This is like so crazy and it's different. And I was like blown away, when I listened to the session, and I found it really fascinating, also about the astral traveling thing, because it makes a lot of sense to me, okay? And so here's the session without any further ado, and after that I will explain to you what I understand. So enjoy, my friends.
We are the Galactic Federation, and we are now communicating through the vibrations offered by this instrument, whose vibrations have matched with our common vibration for this communication to occur, as the nature of vibration is such that this entity is tuning into our vibration like a radio, as known by your people can tune into certain frequencies based upon the bandwidth of vibration it can accept and relay. We as the Galactic Federation are now communicating from our station in the planet known by your people in your vibration sound complex as the Saturn planet. And we are now sharing our thoughts and insights pertaining to the queries as placed by this instrument. For the human collective must remember to exercise judgment like we always state. And before we proceed with this communication any further, remember that you are a divine spark of the Creator, and you have the free will to accept or to reject any of our thought forms, because you are a sub-creator in your own illusion complex, and your thought forms will create a belief system which will affect your illusory reality in one way, shape, or form. Today, this instrument wants to understand about the process known as astral traveling. However, before we begin to share the answers to the queries as placed by this instrument, we would like to place a warning to the human collective consciousness as a final wake-up call in order to allow those who are ready to receive the light codes of the fourth density vibration in order which will allow the stabilization of these entities in the vibration of the fourth density of love and compassion. This must be remembered by each entity, that love and compassion is the primary factor which dictates the overwhelming amount of intensity that is available on the density of fourth density of love light. as without letting go of the old aspect of the personality which has anchored itself to the third density reality, the entry into the fourth density, compassion and love density, is impossible for many entities. Hence, to let go of any of the attachments from the third density reality, one must firstly let go of any negative emotions which have harbored inside the experiences of any mind, body and spirit complex entity in the illusory reality. And by the process of letting go of any of the emotional attachments to the past, such entities are now ready to open their heart up to the love and compassion, which will allow them to experience the light codes and trigger the latent genetic qualities of light body, which will then begin to slowly affect such beings and stabilizing such entities inside the density of the fourth density. For the light codes are now fast approaching your planets, and we have already sent the light codes from the so-called planetary sphere towards your galactic system. There are many other light codes approaching you from various other galaxies as well, which are for the purpose of assisting those who require such upliftment of vibration in their pathway to the fourth density. These light codes, once entered into the bodily complex and once accepted by the mind, body and spirit complex, will allow such entities to fully experience the fourth density without entering backwards into the third density illusory reality. This is achieved by fully stabilizing oneself on the vibrations of love and compassion which is available on the density of fourth density. Therefore, those who seek to be of assistance to oneself, those who seek to assist oneself in the pathway of ascension, can accept the codes with their own free will. The codes shall approach your planet starting from the 21st of December, and then for 1 month period, these light codes shall be active upon your planetary sphere, and fusing with those beings, mind, body and spirit complex, who are ready to accept these and to ascend higher. We shall now address the query placed by this instrument pertaining to the concept known as astral traveling, as known by your people. However, we are now going to share with you our thoughts, which may be different from the knowledge which has been accumulated upon the human collective because of many entities doing research on this aspect as well. We as the Galactic Federation are of the opinion that by practicing the methods of astral traveling, any entity on your planetary sphere can have 2 lifetimes or even multiple lifetimes at a single time in the same density of experience. However, this may seem impossible for those who do not understand the concept fully. For astral traveling means to take your astral body along with your spiritual body into another density and dimension. As in the astral plane, nothing is impossible, and all dimensions can be accessed by your spiritual body. And if a spiritual vehicle has already been to another dimension in its past incarnations or in several parallel realities, then such astral traveling will create accurate depictions of the environment. For example, if an entity from your planetary sphere were to close its eyes and then feel itself by using its imagination complex from the first-person perspective and travel to the moon, and once it reaches the moon satellite, this entity can then begin to not only see the moon with its eyes, but also using the touch as the anchoring factor, or the touch of the physical senses, as the touch is the basic anchoring factor which is required for entities to anchor themselves while they are astral traveling in different bodies. Because once they begin to astral travel in different bodies, they begin to access and they begin to anchor themselves by the touch aspect, as the sensory modality of touch is so powerful that you and many other beings also are entrapped in your physical vehicle because of this baseline of touch. It is not your eyesight or any other sensory aspect which has entrapped you in the illusion complex, but the entrapment of the touch, as the sensory aspect of the touch leads to the baseline framing of the sensory attachment to the illusory reality in which each entity finds itself in. As the same process can be applied once entities reach into the next dimension, the desire to experience, they can firstly feel their body complex in that illusory reality. By the sense of touch, they can begin to anchor themselves in that reality, and they can begin to touch themselves as if they are in that dimension. They can feel themselves walking in that dimension with their first-person perspective. By doing this, they begin to enter into the next dimension. And many a times, this can be layered upon by the visual senses and the sound senses, which are much more easier to replicate than those of the touch. Once the sensations have been merged together, then the remaining sensations of sound, taste, and smell can also be added to the same reality, thereby creating a second life for such entities in another density or dimension. Now, this reality is also real for the self, and the self can also participate in various activities in this reality as well. This is the process of astral traveling, which can be exercised by your people. However, we must warn you that those who exercise this aspect of astral traveling, if they are doing it properly with the sense of touch as the baseline, will soon find themselves in this same reality. Therefore, remember to only bring forth in your mind's eye, before your first-person perspective, the type of reality you want to experience. Otherwise, you will soon find yourself in the same reality because of the approach of the spirit, or the attraction factor of the spirit. Because where you spend your time in the astral planes, in your spiritual body, you will attract that timeline in this reality also. Therefore, be careful of what you are focusing on during the aspects of astral traveling. We are now going to address the second query placed by this instrument pertaining to the soul evolution cycle of planet Earth. Now we shall share that the soul evolutionary cycle of planet Earth is a different type of soul evolutionary cycle. However, it is similar to your own soul evolutionary cycle. But the soul evolutionary cycle of planet Earth started not on this universe. Since there are multiple universes, each universe with its own lessons to be learned, and each universe providing it different rules of the so-called physics as known by your people. And in this universe, there are different set of rules which was created by the sub-creator who made this universe. Mother Earth, as known by your people, or Gaia, as known in its soul language, started its first density as an atom, as known by your people, as can be observed by your scientists. This entity started its first incarnation around 100 trillion years prior to this current space-time, as can be observed by your people. In a different universe wherein there is an effect of the mirror reality, we are not going to share with you the full details of the universe, for it will confuse you, as many of you have not even experienced or can imagine the possibilities that exist in the various other universes. In that universe, it started to learn the lessons of beingness. As the lessons to be learned are, however, the same, because the spiritual lessons are the same as the Creator is the same within each of us and each of you. After learning the lessons of beingness on that universe in the form of a atomic element, because of the attraction factor which allows entities to evolve more and more, as it began to transcend above in higher density consciousness, it began to increase in size by magnetizing itself and attracting other elementals towards it. Because of the mass it had gained in the first density consciousness, it started to become bigger and bigger, and when it reached into the second density reality, it became similar to a size of a tennis ball, wherein it started to learn the lessons of awareness and of movement and growth in the universe, leading this entity to then understand the lessons. As it began to gain mass more and more, it started to approach the third density consciousness. In the third density level, this entity also spent the incarnation interacting with other elements and other entities similar to that of the Earth planets, and it approached the size of the so-called moon satellite upon reaching the third density planetary size. And this allowed it the necessary catalyst, similar to the catalysts which are found upon your planets. However, there was no language in that space-time. The experience of this entity was only of self-awareness. It became aware as it interacted with other similar balls of light or balls of mass as had collected in that universe. This interaction then led it to then reach into the fourth density consciousness in that illusion reality, and soon after learning the lessons of love and compassion, it began to gain a large amount of spiritual mass and also became bigger and bigger. Soon this entity had become as big as the planet Jupiter as known by your people in that universe. And upon reaching into the sixth density, after learning the lessons of the fifth of wisdom, this entity, upon reaching the sixth density, started to learn the lessons of unity and began to merge with other planetary spheres in that universe, thereby creating a large number of social memory complex comprising of various planetary spheres. The size of this entity in that space-time incarnation resembled that of the Milky Way galaxy, and upon reaching into the seventh density, this entity then entered into a so-called type of dissolution into nothingness, as the seventh density is the dissolution of nothingness into no identity, into everything. Thereby, it began to merge into a black hole and destroying itself into unity as it began to learn the lessons and understand that there is only one and that it is one with all. This followed with the entering into the black hole. As it soon began to enter, it merged into the eighth density consciousness of the one creator, and then has decided to come to this universe to be of service in the next cycle of learning for this planetary sphere. This planetary sphere then incarnated on this current universe in this galaxy and is currently in the beginning stages of the fourth density vibration. This entity in this current planetary cycle of its own transition is known by the soul name of Gaia and has also created many spiritual entities. There are many beings also in the form of human collective consciousness who are the essence of the Gaia social memory complex of the past. They are here to balance the energies of Gaia. This is the process of evolution which has occurred in terms of the cycle of evolution of your planets. Hence, we as the Galactic Federation can only share this amount of information, and we disconnect now. Bye.
So my friends, after watching the session, I hope you have gained some understanding about what is approaching our planet on the December 21st. Since today, I believe I released a video on December 21st, even though, I am shooting this video a few days before, but I'm going to release it on December 21st, okay? So yeah, on December 21st, they said in the session that there are light codes coming to our planet, and how we can get ready. Okay, they said how we can get ready is very simple: to let go of our old personality, okay, of our old self, which is attached to the third density reality. And the best way to do that is, to let go of the emotions, right? Emotions of your past. So if you have to forgive someone, okay, if you have to forgive someone, if you have some emotions like anger or hatred, or any of those negative emotions attached to your your mind or your memory, to the reality that you have lived, then please forgive them, if you have to forgive someone, and please let go of all of those emotions, because those emotions, they are trapping you in the third density reality. This is what they said, okay? So we need to firstly, cleanse ourselves. This is what the Galactic Federation said. We need to cleanse ourselves, and we need to become, I believe, pure once again to receive the light codes. And they said, the light codes are actually being sent to the planet in order to help those beings, who are already like, reaching into the fourth density vibration, but they are also returning back, okay? Because sometimes, when you access higher density vibration, you're not able to maintain that vibration, right? So you return back to your old self. So in essence, what the Galactic Federation is saying is that when you receive the light codes, you will activate certain genes and certain genetic I don't know, there are some DNAs which will be activated, which will then on activate your light body, and you will soon stabilize yourself in the fourth density reality. So this is what they are saying, okay? We need to firstly make the choice that we want to accept the light codes. Now it's very simple, to accept the light codes is to be at the vibration of love and compassion. Now how do you do that? I have already done one meditation of the new earth. If you want to check that out, it's on this channel as well. And using that, you can feel love and compassion. And the moment you feel love and compassion from within, okay, when you start to be love and compassion, right, then I believe you're in the fourth density, right? And then you will receive the upgrade to your bodily vehicle in the form of light codes, which are coming to the planet Earth, and that will assist you to stabilize in that vibration. So you will no longer like go back to your old self. So you will no longer like go back to being that old third density person, right? So once you stabilize yourself in the fourth density reality, and as many people they do this, and more people they begin to form the fourth density this vibration, I believe the changes will be massive, okay, upon the planet. And the other thing they talk about is astral traveling. Now I found this concept really interesting, okay, because it feels like this has got some layers added to it. What they said is that we are in this body, right? In this body, we are firstly anchored by our touch. So I am here, I'm in this body, because I can touch my hands, I can feel, I can touch my legs, I can touch and I can feel, right, my body. So they said, the touch is used as a type of foundation, or a like framework, wherein you're linked, you get linked to the body, right, by using your touch. So while astral traveling, if you are conscious, you can do this yourself. Close your eyes, and then you can, go to any timeline or any dimension. I personally like to, astral travel to my future version of my own self, wherein I have all my success, because I love that, And also they said, they gave us a warning to only do things that you really wanted to experience, okay? Because they said, where you go on your astral body, right, where you usually go on your astral body, this reality will also begin to follow that. So you will in essence experience that whatever you're experiencing in your astral body in the future, in this reality. Like, this is crazy, like, okay. And also they said the best way is firstly like to close your eyes, to then enter into that body and anchor yourself, okay, like just begin to touch objects in that reality. So anchor yourself in that reality, and then add other senses, like your sense of sight, sense of hearing in that reality, and then you will fully be in that reality, right, in your astral body. I believe you can do this best thing is to do this while you are sleeping, even during your morning time or during your night time. Before you're sleeping, you can do this. You can enter into different lives, and they said you can also live another life, like have multiple lifetimes in a single life, like wow, right? But I believe this takes a lot of practice, and most people they need the level of concentration to do this. And all of you can do this, I know this, okay? I can do it myself, you can also do it, but you need to just practice, okay? The other thing they talk about, this is really interesting, is about the past lives of our planet Earth. And in this session, they have said that our planet Earth, started evolution not on this universe entirely. Like, wow, this is amazing, right? So they said our planet Earth started incarnation in a different universe with a different set of rules. And what I learned from one hearing of the session is, planet Earth, it had to learn the same type of lessons we had to learn. So in essence, planet Earth is in the second cycle. Okay, it's not in the first cycle, but it is in the second cycle. So I believe all the planets, that we see, they are in the second cycle in this universe, right? So what they are doing is, in that universe, it started as a small atom, then it began to become bigger and bigger as it entered into density after density, okay, by learning the lessons. And once it reached the 7th density, it destroyed itself, I believe. It merged into a black hole. So into the black hole, it destroyed itself because it learned the lessons of unity, of everything is me, and everything is the creator, and there was no identity at that point. So when it destroyed itself in the black hole, then I believe it merged with the creator, and then now it has decided to come here on this galaxy to be of service, right? To learn the lessons of the second tier of evolution. So yeah, this is like really different and interesting. I mean, like this, sometimes, I cannot even imagine what information I receive. It's so different. And anyways, I learned a lot. And also, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for watching the videos and, for supporting me on Patreon, where I'm sharing uncensored content, which I am not allowed to share on YouTube. And also, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for sending in your requests for past life sessions to my email, and I will help you out, as I get free time. So I thank you all so much for watching the video. Until we meet again. See you later.